In this video, we're going to start creating more pages for our website. So far, we only have one page and we've been putting all of our content in our index page, which is serving as our home page, right? But then we did create a nav bar where we have a link to home, a link to about, and a link to contact us, right? So what we want to do is actually put in the contact and the about and then make our links actually alive. So let's start by making the links alive. The home should always be to index.html because that is our home page file, right? Let me just break the line so that I can keep everything looking neat. All right. So I have the anchor tag to home. I have my pipe to separate. Then I have about, so I'm going to change the about to about.html, and then the contact us to contact.html. So my recommendation when making names for your files or your pages, don't use any spaces and of course no special characters, right? So if it is that you wanted to say about or contact us, so I say contact us and you wanted to say contact us.html, it's better you say contact underscore us or something like that. Don't say contact space us, right? That can create some problems and lead to bad code and bad, user experience later on. So you just use an underscore, and so I'm going to leave it as contact underscore us.html. Now, if those are the files that we intend to link to, then clearly those are the files we need to create. So we already have the index file. That's what we're working in. I need a file for my about.html. So I'm just going to copy it. I already wrote it, just copying it. And then I'm going to go over to my Explorer section. When I hover, I see that little paper with the plus sign that says new file. So I just click new file, and whether you copied it like I just did or not, you're just going to give it the name about.html, press enter, and you have a new file. Then we're going to do the same thing for contact us, right? So it's contact us.html, open the new file, create that file, and now we have 3 HTML files: index, contact us, and about. All right. Now, of course, these are blank because nothing is there, but we can always start putting content in them by using our HTML5 emit extension. So I'm just going to say HTML:5, press enter. We get the skeleton, and then this one is contact us. So I'm just giving it the page name from now so I don't forget later on. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the about. So go into the blank page, HTML:5, press enter. It generates everything, and then we are calling this one about. All right. So now we have our skeleton, and we have 2 blank pages. All they have would be the skeleton, right? One thing about web design is that you want all your pages to be consistent. There should be a general theme for your website. So let me just launch our page. Let's launch our index page, open with live server. And then looking through, if I click about, then it navigates to the about page. But this is bad. How do I get out of the about page? How do I get from the about page to the index, back to home, or over to contact us? So it's a good general rule of thumb that you should be able to get to almost anywhere on a website within 2 clicks, or you should be able to navigate to any part of a website from any part of the website. So that may be a bit harder to accomplish, but the fact is that that's why you have a nav bar that should be visible on most, if not all, pages. So if I landed on the contact us page, I should be able to go from contact us to home comfortably without having to, change the URL manually in the browser or try and click back until I end up on the home page. I should be able to do that from everywhere, right? So with that in mind, you generally tend to have that standard layout across all pages. So right now we have a layout where we have a div with a container, we have a header, we have a nav, and then content. So content is really the only part of the page that should differ, right? So I'm going to just collapse content a bit, collapse that div. So we see where content starts and ends, and then the footer. So really and truly, every page in this website should have a container div, a header div, a nav div, a content div and a footer div, and only the content div should have different contents. The navbar should look the same everywhere, the header should look the same everywhere, etc. Once again, uniformity, right? So what I'm going to do, since I already have a layout idea on the index page, I'm going to take all of the divs. So I just collapsed container, all right, and then I can just copy, just highlight everything one time, copy. Visual Studio Code allows me to do that, and I'm sure many other text editors do. If they don't help you to accomplish what I'm about to do, then you're going to have to just expand everything and just copy the entire from top to bottom, right? So once again, all I want is everything inside of container, because all of my website content and divs and layout is inside of the div container, right? So I'm just going to go over to about, and then I'm just going to paste that inside of the body. So now I have everything coming over from the index page inside of about. And once again, the only part that I really don't want to repeat is content, because I don't need all of these sample content, because I'm going to write new content inside of my about us page. So let's start off with the new content saying about us page. All right, so that's the new content. We have an about us page. So when I land on this page, I'm supposed to see the header, see the nav, see the content area saying about us page, and then see a footer, right? So let us go back to our preview and look at that. So when I click about, now it's showing everything. I'm seeing the text that was in the header, I'm seeing the subheading, I'm seeing the nav, I'm seeing the about us page, H1 that we just wrote, and then I'm seeing all of the contents that were in the footer, but something still doesn't quite look right here. And that is because we don't have any of the CSS. So yes, we copied over the content. Sure, we did, but we did not carry any styling with it, right? So in our index page, we have all of the styles associated with our page inside of our style tag inside of the head. So when we're using internal style sheets, it's easier for us to transfer the CSS code from page to page by just taking all of the style, right? So I can just copy this style. So I just collapsed it and copied, but let me do it without collapsing just in case your editor does not support that. If I just select everything from style, from the open style tag, all the way down to the ending style tag, and I copy that, go over to my new page, which is about, and then paste it inside of the head, right? So I'm just pasting it after title inside of the head tag, and I paste, right? Now when I refresh my about us page, I now see something looking more like what I expect. All right, so all of the styles, it just picked up right where it left off. It saw the same set of IDs, the header, the nav, the content, and the footer and container, and all of those were already being referenced in the original set of styles. All the p tags should look a certain way, all the header ID, element, container, footer, etc. So that is how you can go about making your CSS code reusable, right? So you write it one time, and then you simply need to copy it across all of the pages that need to inherit it. So since we've done this for the about page, let's do the same thing for the contact us. So firstly, I already have the style stuff in my clipboard, so I'm just going to paste the CSS inside of the contact us page, and then I'm just going to go back to either page, because all of them have the same layout, and I'm just going to copy the layout section and paste inside of contact us. So inside of the body, I'm just pasting that, and then I'm changing the content to say contact us page, so that we know which page we're on at which point, right? Contact us page. So let's go back to our website and look at what the navigation experience looks like. So I'm on home, and then I'm on home and I see everything. Hi, this is home, blah, blah, blah. Then I click about. Notice not much seemed to change. It almost seems as if only the content area changed, because everything else is consistent in our layout. I click contact us, it's the same thing. The only thing changing once again is the content area, although it changed the entire page. All right. So that is how you transfer styles between pages and help to keep your website consistent in the look and feel. All right, so just to review our pages, I just made a slight modification to the content of the page to make it look a bit more official. So on my index page, I changed the footer content to say, done in partial fulfillment of Introduction to Web Technologies. That is the idea of this series of videos. It's an introduction to web technologies. So if you were doing this for a course or to supplement a course, then, this would be perfect, right? And then I went on to say all rights reserved. So notice, however, one, I changed the footer background color. It was aqua, it's now gray, so it looks just like the header, right? So the header is gray, the footer is also gray, and I changed the color of the text there. So I believe this would have already been changed because it's an H tag. And remember that we changed all the H tags to be maroon, apart from the H1 tag to be brown. All right. And then I changed the color of the P tag that is inside of the footer to be maroon also. So notice all other P tags are gray. Every other P tag on my page is gray, but then I targeted the footer div and the P tags inside, and then I said that I want you to be maroon. So I did that change on the index page. When I go over to about, it would make sense that you expect to see the same change over there, but that is not the case. It's still aqua and the P tag is still gray, right? So the content was changed, but the styling was not changed. If I go to contact us, it's the same thing. The content, I changed out the content easily, fine, but then the styling was not inherited. And so we start to see that even though internal style sheet is better at creating global styles all over our pages and across our website, there are still limitations, because if I made a change one place and forgot to do it at the other place, so I made it on the home but I forgot to do it on the contact us, then you see that there's still going to be inconsistency, and then I have to be like, oh my, I forgot this one, and go back and do it. So in the next video, we're going to start looking at another level of CSS, and that is going to be called external style sheets, where we write our CSS code once and for all, and then we just make reference to it from the different pages. So internal style sheets was fun while it lasted. It has its use, but then when we get to external style sheets, it's far more global, far more efficient, and it will be far more useful in creating global styles and managing the look and feel of all of the pages in our website.